Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagya ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 12. नाति प्रसीदति तथोपचितोपचारैर् आराधिता सुरगणैर्हृदि बद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतदयया सदलभ्ययैको नानाजनेषु अवहिता सुहृदन्तरात्मा नाति प्रसीदति ततोपचितोपचारे आराधिता सुरगणैः हृदि बद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतदयया सदलभ्ययैको नानाजनेषु अवहिता सुहृदन्तरात्मा नाति प्रसीदति तथोपचितोपचारैर् आराधिता सुरगणे हृदि बद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतदयया सदलभ्ययैको नानाजनेषु अवहिता सुहृदन्तरात्मा Mataji's. Word for word, na, never, ati, very much, prasidati, become satisfied, tatha, as much as, upachita, by pompous arrangement, upacharai, with much worshipable paraphernalia, aradhita, being worshipped, Suruganai, by the celestial demigods, Hridibaddhakamai, with hearts full of all sorts of material desires. Yet that which sarva, all, bhuta, living entities, daya, to show them causeless mercy, asat, non-devotee, alabhyaya, not being achieved, ekaha, one without a second, nana, various, janeshu, in living entities, avahitaha, perceived, suhrit, well-wishing friend, antaha, within, atma, supersoul. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods, who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as a super soul just to show your causeless mercy. And you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee. Purport: the demigods in the celestial heavenly planets, who are appointed administrators of the material affairs, are also devotees of the Lord. But at the same time, they have desires for material opulence and sense gratification. The Lord is so kind that He awards them all sorts of material happiness more than they can desire. He is not satisfied with them because they are not pure devotees. The Lord does not want any one of His innumerable sons, the living entities, to remain in the material world of threefold miseries, to perpetually suffer the material pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. The demigods in the heavenly planets and many devotees on this planet also want to remain in the material world. And many devotees in this planet also. As devotees of the Lord and take advantage of material happiness, they do so at a risk of falling down to the lower status of existence, and this makes the Lord dissatisfied with them. Pure devotees are not desirous of any material enjoyment, nor are they averse to it. They completely dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord and perform nothing on their personal account. Arjuna is a good example. On his own sentiment due to family affection, Arjuna did not want to fight, but finally, after hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he agreed to fight in the interests of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is very much satisfied with pure devotees because they do not act for sense gratification, but only in terms of the Lord's desires. As Paramatma or Super Soul, He is situated in everyone's heart, always giving everyone the chance of good counsel. Thus, everyone should take the opportunity and render transcendental loving service to Him wholly and solely. The non-devotees, however, are neither like the demigods nor like the pure devotees, but are averse to the transcendental relationship with the Lord. They have revolted against the Lord and must perpetually undergo the reactions of their own activities. We'll read the remaining purport in tomorrow's class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Rathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajnanidine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome everyone to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam class, and we are discussing the prayers of Brahmaji. So here in this particular verse, Brahmaji is saying that the devatas, the demigods, who have been made in charge of administrative affairs of the universe, they worship the Lord with a lot of pompous arrangements in terms of a lot of paraphernalia, opulent paraphernalia. But the Lord is not very satisfied because there are material desires. It's not unalloyed, unmotivated devotional service. So there is a desire for some material satisfaction. But the focus is here in two things. So it's not the grandeur in which you worship Krishna, which satisfies Krishna. It's the simplicity and sincerity which actually satisfies Krishna. Simplicity of the heart and sincerity of purpose. So that is what actually satisfies Krishna, not the external things such as the scale, the size, the show, the shine, and the status. All of these external things, which we might feel that okay, this is great and grand worship of the Lord, but then Lord is looking for what's the simplicity of the heart of the worshipper and what is the sincerity of their purpose. So that is the theme, and we can see in the pastime of Govardhan Leela that after Indra was frustrated in his attempts and he realized what big a blunder he has made, he along with Surabhi, Mother Surabhi cow, he came to beg forgiveness and he offered elaborate prayers, and then they conducted an Abhishek ceremony for the Lord. And the Aarti was done, Abhishek was done with very, as it is mentioned, with a lot of grandeur, with a lot of opulent, pompous arrangements. So it is mentioned in Anand Vrindavan Champu that there, in that setting, Vayudev was actually fanning with a chamar. Personally, Vayudev fanning with a chamar with a star, with a jewel-studded chamar handle. And then Varun Dev was holding an umbrella on the head of the Lord. So Lord was just sitting in one of the shilas of Govardhan. Varun Dev is holding the umbrella and Vayudev is fanning him. Agni Dev has personally lit an incense, a very, very fragrant incense, which is in a golden pot with coral decorations on it. So a lot of pompous arrangements have been made, and Brahmaji and Lord Shiva, all of them are offering prayers. Indra is worshipping the Lord, offering Aarti, and all of this is happening And then Lord is just passively accepting their prayers and their worship. But then once this fanfare is over, they go, the demigods take permission of the Lord and they depart. Immediately the cowherd boys jump in. Some of them were watching in the hideout. What's happening here? A lot of crazy things keep happening in Vrindavan. Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill with a little finger of his left hand, and now these devatas, as Madhumangal later told Nanda Maharaj, you know what happened? One person with 4 heads was praying to our Lalla, and then another person with 5 heads was also standing nearby. And then one person with eyes all over the body was again and again offering obeisances, and there was a cow which was talking also. We just heard the mooing of the cows, moo, but then here the cow is talking also. So Nanda Maharaj just chided him, ki, okay, you are always making stories. No one believed him. So when the cowherd boys came in, they saw all of this paraphernalia and they asked Krishna, where has all of this come from? So then Krishna says, no, Vrindavan is full of all opulences. So here and there we keep finding treasure hunt. So they picked up all of those paraphernalia, and in lot of glee and humor, they started, okay, I will worship. Sridama said, okay, I will worship Krishna. So all of these cowherd boys, they are laughing and having fun worshipping Krishna, and this time Krishna is actively involved. In the previous worship, he was passively just accepting. But this time he is actively involved, and there's so much fun and frolic. So that's what it is meant, that the Lord is not impressed with the size, the scale, the show, the shine, and the status of the worship, but with the simplicity of the heart and sincerity of purpose of the worshipper. Not the externals, but the internals. So that is a theme which is very prominently mentioned in this first part of the purport. And then we see so many places. We have this Duryodhana ko bhogana khayo, rukho sak vidur ghar khayo, kande kamar kari radhe sham sham sham. So Krishna, he denied to accept, rejected all of those offers of Chapan Bhog at Duryodhan's place, opulent worship, but with material desires and perverted material desires. Whereas he went to Vidura's home, and there are narration that he ate rukho saak, or there's one narration that he ate banana peels. As Vidurani was so overwhelmed by the Lord's darshan that she was throwing the banana down and offering Krishna the banana peel. And Krishna was accepting it with such relish, as if this was the most tasty and succulent and thing which he has ever taken. So because Krishna is, if patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachiti tadham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. So in this verse, bhakti comes twice. Rest of the ingredients are there, but Krishna is saying simplicity is okay, but then the sincerity of purpose, the bhakti has to be there. So that is, again and again we can see the personality of the Lord, that he is looking for this simplicity and sincerity. Another incident in the 12th chapter of the 10th canto, where all the cowherd boys, they have entered deep in the Vrindavan forest for the picnic the day Agasur comes. And it is mentioned, Phala prabala stavaka sumana pichha dhatubi kacha gunjamani swarna bhushan apibhushita. It says that Krishna and the cowherd boys had been decorated by their mothers with kacha, gunjamala, mani, with jewels and gems, and swarna, golden ornaments, different types of earrings of gold and studded with gems and jewels, and then waist belt. All of these opulent things were there. But then when they entered the Vrindavan forest, what did they do? They cast off all of this. They don't even, Krishna is not even excited about the opulent worship which even Yashoda Maiya is doing. What he is looking for, he goes and Phala prabala stavaka. So the cowherd boys, they climb the trees and they find, oh Krishna, this berry will will look very beautiful in your locks of hair. So one brings a bunch of berries, another brings fresh leaves, and someone brings some fruit and places, tucks in Krishna's turban. So Krishna is satisfied with that. The simple worship of the Vrajavasis, of the cowherd boys, that is more pleasing to Krishna. So Srila Jiva Goswami in the Gopal Champu, in the commentary, he says that actually the consideration of what is opulent and what is very costly is only in the miserly material mind. But for a simple heart, he can find relish in anything, which is, the simple exchanges can become so profound. So that is what is mentioned. So here, what do we draw from this aspect of Lord Shri Krishna's personality? And can we introspect and reflect that where do we stand? Because Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that not just the devatas, some devotees, many devotees in the material world also want to stay here and do devotional service, but at the same time enjoy material pleasures, materially motivated. So if we think about it, a lot of people in the world today are disillusioned with organized religion. Because of these factors of there's lot of pomp, lot of show, but then they feel that essence is somehow missing. So there's a trend, a movement, the spiritual but not religious. We don't affiliate to any religious organization because there is so much of discrimination or so much of division which is caused by so-called religion. But we are looking for the spiritual aspect of life, but not the religious diktats, rules, regulations, and structures and systems, all of those things. So, well, there may be some who are seriously interested in spiritual but not religious, who are looking for the essence, who are thoughtful, but most of the people follow it as a cool trend. Virat Kohli takes to veganism, then it's a cool trend to follow veganism. Someone follows this spiritual but not religious, and it's cool, so people follow. And then most of the people who follow atheism, they also don't know what is atheism. They just follow because it is cool to say that I don't believe in God. I am a logical person. They think that it will be cool to say that, so they say it. So, but even though considering there may be some glimmer of truth in this section of the society who feel that religion has somewhere got misdirected, where religion has deviated from its core essence and purpose of developing the simplicity of the heart and sincerity of purpose, and rather than getting lost in this, drawing up a big scale and size and, show and all of those things. So, and it's not very surprising because it also happens. We are going to look at it from all different sides, as because Srila Prabhupada says that devotees should understand the Srimad Bhagavatam from different angles of vision. So it's not surprising when people feel that religion, there are shortcomings, flaws, and other things in the sense of its organized, institutionalized form. And we can see that how many times the history is witness to it, that many times religion, there has been greater sin and abuse in the name of religion. And it is, in various ways, it is also very, easy to get distracted, given that we are in the material world and trying to reach out to a very, very lofty spiritual goal. So it's very difficult, but then we still see that what happens is, in that organized form, the social may eclipse the spiritual aspect. The size may eclipse the simplicity aspect. The structure may eclipse the substance aspect. The strictures or rules and regulations may eclipse the spontaneity aspect of religion. And the shine of opulence and other things may eclipse the sublime aspect of religion. So we'll look at it in some detail, that when we say the social eclipses the spiritual, so people come to a spiritual organization for spiritualizing themselves, but we end up just socializing ourselves. It becomes a social group ki chalo, I am just hanging out, right? So, and then in that socializing aspect, then there are pujala, pratishtha. Am I getting that much respect? Am I considered that much advanced in this group of people? Because any association has a currency. In an association of business people, the currency is what is your net worth. And so everyone is there wanting to grow their net worth. So here in the spiritual organization, if I'm looking for respect, then I know that I need to show that I'm advanced. Sometimes that may be the way the mind tricks us. The social aspect may eclipse our spiritual thirst, which brought us to the spiritual movement, right? So the Agra Puja is meant for Krishna, but then in the social setup, then we feel that I should have been given the Agra Puja of the lamp being offered to me first, or whatever. The mind is crazy. So we need to see that this is not a flaw of the institution as such, it is a flaw of the material mind, which reflects when the religion, as the soul is pure, but then when the soul is reflected in water which is wavering, then the moon also appears to be wavering. So similarly, pure spirituality, religion, dharma, when it reflects in this material world on a material mind, because the material mind has these distractions, so the practice also is imbued with these kind of faults. And then we said the size eclipses the simplicity. So we always talk of the simple temple. But it's very essential, even though the size may grow, to preserve that simplicity. On a lighter note, one person went to a church and asked that, I want to join the mass here, the gathering here, and I want to learn more about God and all things. So then they said, you go to that vending machine. So he went to that vending machine, and then there was a token number 20853. Then he said, I got this token. So they said, okay, so your slot is on the 28th of November between 2 to 3. And in that time, you have to fill form 32A and 44B from our catalog. And then when you submit those forms, then in 5 to 6 business weeks, we'll be able to respond to your query. Somehow, the purpose of all of that systems is to help people connect. But then if those systems come in the way of people to connect, then it is not serving the purpose. So that size, if we are not careful, then it may eclipse the simplicity, right, which is what people are looking for. And then the structure may eclipse the substance. I was listening to a lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj was saying that we may make big temples with the initial sincere desire that we have a nice, good temple, so then we will come together and hear and chant, and we'll preach, we'll invite people. But then in order to build that temple, everyone becomes so busy in fundraising, in construction, and then no one has time to hear and chant. We are not discouraging, but then we are saying that it might also happen. And then he says that, okay, once the temple is built, then what? Then what happens is, to maintain the temple, it takes so much of effort that we don't have time to come and chant, and we don't have time to preach, because we are just, as Gaurang Prabhu says, the doctor sees the doctor more than the patient. So we are just busy in administration, and we forget the goal of this administration is to chant and to preach. So Srila Prabhupada says in a letter that preaching is like the head, is the like the heart, and management is like the head. Wherever the heart goes, the head follows. So the engine is the preaching mission, the mission of spreading the holy names, and then management is supposed to follow. So the structure we may lose sight of the substance because of the structure. There's a story of this brahmachari. The guru asked him that you should read Gita every day. I'm going out for a month. And when the guru comes back, he sees like he had left him in a small kuti with bare necessities, and then he comes back and he sees that now there is a bigger kutir, and then he has a wife also, there's a cow tied also, and then there's a cat also, and he is unable to find one thing, which is the Bhagavad Gita. He says, what happened? In just 1 month, you transformed ashram to this? So he said, actually, Guruji, you had told me to read Bhagavad Gita. I was reading Gita, but then a rat came, it was eating the Gita. So then, to shoo away the rat, I brought the cat. But the cat was always, crying for milk. So it was not allowing me to read. So then I brought a cow. So the cow was giving milk, but it was becoming a great endeavor to take care of her. So I brought a wife so that she can take care of her, so that the cow can give milk, so that the milk can be fed to the cat, and so that the cat will shoo away the rat, so that I can read the Bhagavad Gita. And Guruji says, where is the Gita? Maybe I have lost it somewhere. So we may lose sight of the substance when we get caught up in the structure. And then strictures or rules and regulations are important. Spiritual life, sadhana bhakti, the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, the regulations are important for us to develop the raga. The regulations are ultimately meant to direct us to developing spontaneous attraction for the Lord. But then many times we get into niyama agraha. We focus on the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. And spiritual means spirit plus ritual. If the spirit is lost, all we are left is rituals. We are just one after another ticking the boxes that I have done all of these rules, but then I don't know where all of this is leading me, right? So, and then finally the shine eclipses the sublime. So once there was a sincere sadhaka, he just left his house, everything in search of God. He went to a cave in a mountain, and he decided, I will go back to the village only once in a year. And for the entire year, I'll be fasting. So he was very, very sincere. And then once in a year, he would come down from the village, from the mountain cave into the village with beard and emaciated, and with his body with different cobwebs. So he comes back, and the villagers see what kind of a austere personality this sage is. Everyone comes and offers obeisances, and the villagers start holding a festival every year in honor. And by every year, his halo around his head starts increasing by the dint of his austerities. And the villagers get more and more drawn to him. But whenever he comes for that one day, he accepts something, bhiksha, but he doesn't speak anything at all. So like this, one particular year, he comes to the village, but he sees there's no fanfare on the same ground where he used to come. He feels that maybe I have come to the wrong place. Then he starts searching here and there. Is there someone around? He says, I can't speak, because people know that I don't speak. So he climbed up the tree to see if there's anyone. He could not see anyone. He ran into the marketplace. कहाँ हो तुम लोग? पता नहीं, मैं 1 साल में 1 बार आता हूँ. Where is everyone? Don't you recognize my spiritual power? So then the villagers were taken aback. What happened to our Guruji? Then they said, Arey Guruji, please forgive us. This year there's Adhik Maas, so there's a mistake in the calculation. So we thought you are going to come a month later. So, so many times, I'm just speaking these things, but this is where, I'm also stuck. So all of these things are, as a sincere introspection, all of us can learn something from people who say that spiritual but not religious. Why? Because somewhere those people who are saying that I'm interested in being spiritual without being religious, they might have been triggered by someone who is religious without being spiritual. Triggered by someone who is who is a speaker without being a seeker within, who is prophesizing and sermoning without actually having that fire within to seek. And then someone who may be a leader without actually following. So who may be holy but not human. So therefore, we as a part of the broader religious institution organization, we need to reflect, introspect, and see somewhere that how we can stick to that essence, which not only satisfies the Supreme Lord, which actually not only draws people, but actually the ultimate goal is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishwaksena katha na utpadete yadi ratim shrama evahi kevalam, that all the dharmas are meant to develop attraction towards hearing and chanting and for satisfying the Lord. So these are things. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also writes an essay on Putana. And he compares Putana to the deviant form of organized religion. He says Putana was supposed to be a nourisher in the form which he came of a very gentle, loving, beautiful woman. But actually she was a poisoner. Right? So all of these ulterior motives, as therefore Shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishtam yathapayam. Srila Prabhupada is warning us so many times, again and again, because he knows that although you may be thinking that this is Harikatha, but Harikatha from not hearing Harikatha from the parampara, when we hear from people who may have other motivations, then that poison might enter our ears and our heart, which may be very subtle, difficult to differentiate. So therefore, where we can draw the line for ourselves. I was in Vrindavan with a couple of other brahmacharis, and we had gone to one particular holy place, and there one Babaji was sitting 6 o'clock in the morning. He came to us and he said, you are sincere people, I have an advice for you. So we said, okay. So he said, generally I don't come out of my sadhana early in morning, but because I saw you, so you don't make this mistake. So your sadhana time you should reserve for sadhana, and rest of the time you can preach. And then he said that when you preach, you should not differentiate between people. This is not a dharma of a sannyasi or a renunciant. He said 2 types of people come to the temple, Babujis and Khabujis. So he was in his jolly way, he was saying that this is our vision, but ultimately everyone is a spirit soul coming to seek Krishna. So you should see on that platform. Not that, okay, this person is giving big donation, he has great influence, so special honor and respect and attention, and for the rest, okay, we don't care, you are not wanted here. So of course, sakale sammane karite shakati deho natha jatha jatha. So there are different maryadas, and those maryadas are there so that we can respect people as per their position. It's not that you have one size fit all, that is egalitarianism artificially. No, everyone has a different level of evolution spiritually, position materially, and according to that is respect, but the underlying feature is respect. Right? So that was a very great teaching on that day. So now coming back to this verse and then how we can synthesize. So yes, when people say we want to be spiritual but not religious, then the question is, what path do you have? It's just an abstract idea. What exactly do you want to do when you say that I want to be spiritual but not religious? Well, if they are open to listen to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Srimad Bhagavatam has such a great insight for them. And, if they say that, once a student asked me, कि I don't believe in God, आप लोग sessions ले रहे हैं, but I don't believe in God, I'm an atheist. So I said, so what is your definition of God? You don't believe in God, but then do you know what God is? So he said, God means the person who punishes everyone, who sends his believers to heaven, and who sends the non-believers to hell, and who throws thunderbolt on the thunderbolts to destroy the heretics. So that's God. I said, I also don't believe in that God, by the way. So what is our understanding of God? When you look at Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if the spiritual but not religious sect can believe in any form of God, that can only be Krishna. Because Krishna is the ultimate iconoclast. Iconoclast means someone who breaks your pre-existing conceptions. So we may have these conceptions about God, but then when we see how the Lord is the ultimate epitome of love and care. It's not that authoritarian, punishing role. So I told him, I'll tell you a story to tell you about who is my God. I told him once all the sages were having an interfaith conference to adjudicate who is the supreme God. And then after a lot of churning and discussions, they finally arrived at one of these three, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. But then there was no consensus about which one of the three. So then Bhrigu Muni was given the responsibility to find out, to do some research, which one is the supreme. So Bhrigu Muni, he goes first of all to Brahmaji. He's Brahmaji's son. And all he does is, he doesn't speak anything. He just stands there as if he's indifferently. And Brahmaji, he sees his son coming. He's very affectionate. He's coming forward, but he's seeing his son is very indifferent. He becomes angry that what kind of behavior this is, right? And Bhrigu Muni's test is done. I saw him becoming angry, which means that if there is the Supreme God can't control his own anger, then how he can control the entire creation, right? So then he immediately left from that place. Brahmaji was wondering what is happening. I think this is the result of the cancel culture. So then he went to Lord Shiva, his brother, and there he went and right from the outset, he started hurling abuses at him. Test was increased, the degree of test was increased. Started hurling abuses at him that you are just staying in the crematorium, you are impure, don't touch me, don't come here. And Lord Shiva ran to embrace him, and he's getting this response. Immediately he becomes angry and he takes his Trishul, and Parvati, she stops him. This hate speech, hate speech of Bhrigu, it really disturbed Lord Shiva, and then he understood. Okay, sorry, bhaiya, chalte hain. So then he left there from that place and he went to Lord Vishnu, and the toughest test was planned for Lord Vishnu. Again, Lord Vishnu comes with a lot of happiness and joy to welcome him, rising from his snake bed. And he's coming forward, and immediately, he's not saying anything, immediately kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu. And, Lord Lakshmi ji was taken aback, and she was so upset. But he could not see even a glimmer of any disturbance on the Lord's face. Instead, the Lord looked at him with so much compassion. He said, my chest is so hard. I should have been serving your lotus feet. I think your lotus feet might have been hurt by my chest. Sit down, I'll massage them. And when Bhrigu Muni heard this, he, really was floored. And then he understood that actually this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because to control the external things may be possible, but to control one's inner urges, so that is a greater degree of control. And Charlie Chaplin says a quote that You need power only when you want to do something harmful. But for the rest of the things, love is enough. So many times the show of power is only needed when you want to do things harmful. But otherwise, love is the greatest force, the greatest power in this world. Right? And he saw that power in the heart of Lord Vishnu, and he surrendered to Lord Vishnu, and he went back to the assembly and proclaimed, Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. Now coming back to the home of Shri Krishna, Golok Vrindavan. So Golok Vrindavan is actually the place which can be spiritual but not religious certified. I'll explain what I'm saying. Sridama, he's every day having wrestling with Krishna. Every day Krishna, today I will defeat you. And then Sridama says, there was 6-0 yesterday, today do you want 7-0? And he says, you are no match. So the journey of Gopgopal is mentioned. He goes to Vaikuntha and he sees the Lord. He feels so drawn. He goes to embrace, runs to embrace Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan. And then the associates of the Lord stop him. Stop, what are you doing? This is not the way you approach the Lord. There are some decorum, there is some protocols that you need to follow. That you have to first offer obeisances. And if the Lord pleases, and that also doesn't generally happen, Lord will just give you Ashirvad. So, but in Golok Vrindavan, the cowherd boys, they just have fun and frolic with Krishna. They embrace Krishna. They climb on the shoulder of Krishna. No rules and regulations, diktats, protocols, nothing. So, and we'll see that how, the various characteristics of the personality of the Lord, they are so attractive to anyone who has even a sincere ray of the quest for spirituality. So, I'll just, as we discuss the story of Bhrigu Muni, we'll discuss some other examples by which we can see that how the Lord is so endearing. So generally, people have this accusation that religion, it discriminates, it has, you are judge people, you people judge that these are fallen souls, fallen conditioned souls. These are higher caste, these are lower caste. So these are things what people feel. But then we need to again align back to what the standard is. So Lord Krishna, it is mentioned, Vyadhasya charanam dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kimunam rupamadhikam kim tatsudam no dhanam vamshako vidurasya yadavapate rugrasya kim parusham bhaktya tushyati kevalam nachaguner bhakti priyo madhava. So it is mentioned that Lord doesn't see any material external qualifications or disqualifications. There is no discrimination in the vision of the Lord. It is mentioned Vyadha, Dharma Vyadha, who was actually selling meat, and he attained perfection. Dhruva, what is the age of Dhruva? No discrimination based on age. Gajendra, he's not even a human, and he attained perfection. Kubjaya Kim, Nama Rupa, what is the beauty of Kubja, that she is being entertained by the Lord and no one knows her name. So all of these things are there which show that how the Lord doesn't discriminate. And even when Jai Vijay, they discriminated and they stopped the Chatushkumaras and they become very upset. The Lord came in and he said that actually this offense by my servants is an offense committed by me unto you. And I wash the lotus feet of the Brahmanas and take it on my head. That's how I am getting the strength. Which person in the world would not get drawn to such a personality? That who is only made up of love from top to bottom, beginning to end, outside, inside, everything about the Lord is only love. And that's what spiritual but not religious person may be looking for. And even, so Lord doesn't discriminate, right? So we gave example of animals also, Gajendra being delivered by the Lord. And Lord, in the 11th canto, he says that Sugrivo, Hanumana, Riksha, Gajo, Gridro, Vanik, Patha. Entire zoo has been delivered wholesale. Whether it's an eagle, an elephant, or a monkey, everyone attains perfection in the service of the Lord. So if some of these people also happen to be animal lovers, so if you are an animal lover, many times it is very hypocritical. It's just love one animal. And actually, so often people are talking of armchair non-violence. Just sitting and philosophizing that there should these dogs should be protected. But then when they go to the dining table, there is violence. They are eating the flesh of some other animal. So, but if you are really looking to be an animal lover, you must worship Krishna. Because not even humans, even animals are delivered and given pure love by the Lord. And no, control also, no colonialism also. Generally, in Africa, they say that when these Europeans came to Africa, they had the Bible, we had the land. But now we have the Bible and they have all our land. So many times it can be a garb to just do colonial expansion, but then the Lord, whichever kingdom he won, whichever king he defeated Kamsa, he killed Kamsa, but then he didn't, come ahead to become the king. He made Ugrasen the king. Jarasandha was defeated, he enthroned his son Sahadev as the king. Similarly for Banasur also. So Krishna consciousness is the only religion, is the only path which has such broad-mindedness. Because Krishna has that broad-mindedness to actually help people find the essence within their own religion. So Srila Prabhupada said, I am not here to convert you from Christianity. I want you to become a better Christian. And if you are unable to do so, you come to the Hare Krishnas. And Srila Prabhupada said, Lord Jesus is telling, thou shall not kill. Why are you killing? So Srila Prabhupada's message is not converting people, but actually helping people find that essence in their own religion. And the ultimate essence is the love of Godhead, love of Krishna, which we can see through these pastimes. And ultimately, Lord gives equal opportunities to everyone. It is not that it is like that socialism that the poor and the downtrodden are only meant to be served, right? Or they should have equal rights. Whether it is Bahulashva or Shrutadev, Lord reciprocated with both of them with the same, love and affection, right? He went to both of them. Although one is a great king, another is such a pauper Brahmana that he doesn't have anything to welcome the Lord. He just takes out his upper claws and waves it in the air. That's how he's welcoming. And that Lord accepts both of these with equal affection. Because Lord is ultimately not looking at one's position, but one's devotion. Nemam verencho na bhavo na shri api angas samsraya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapya vimuktida. So, Lord is bound by the love of Yashoda Maiya, which even Brahmaji, Shiva, Lakshmi, the great controllers of the universe are unable to do. Lord is bound by the rope of devotion. And the Lord is someone who values relationship over status. We saw that how people feel that there is so much hierarchy in an organized religion. But then look at the heart of the Lord. Drona and Drupada, they were childhood friends. But then when Drupad attained a higher position of a king, when his childhood friend Bachpan ka yaar aaya, so then he said, you are not worth to be on an equal footing with me. Whereas when Sudama comes to the Lord, Lord rises up from his bedstead and goes and brings Sudama, makes him sit there, washes his lotus feet, and takes that Charanamrit. Right? So Lord values relationship over the status. Many times they say that in an organized religion, people just see the numbers, not the faces. Numbers are more important. The faces get lost behind the numbers. You are one of the 1,000 people or 10,000 people in our database. But no, if you look at the heart of the Lord, for him, each and every devotee is so valuable. But then ultimately, yes, if you are interested in being spiritual but not religious, you should agree that this is the perfect God for you, who doesn't have any boundaries, any barriers, any prerequisites to come to him. In fact, he will come to you, right? So, and Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda go even a step ahead. We won't talk about that. So, so even having accepted Lord Shri Krishna as the God whose heart is for that essence, for that simplicity and sincerity. But then the question arises, again we have this big institution, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. How do these two things harmonize? So actually we need to understand that the institution is Krishna Consciousness institution is also a creation of the Lord to help us come closer to him. Originally, Lord created the institution of Varnashram. Chaturvarnya Maya Srishtam. He created Varnashram. Why? Varnashram Acharavat Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyate Pamtha Na Anyat Tattosha Karanam. The Varnashram is created for people to develop devotion for the Lord. Right? And he created a system of Guru Parampara, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidu Sa Kale Neha Mata Yoganashta Parantapa. So originally, in the ancient Vedic times, this Varnashram system and the Guru Parampara system was personally taken care of by the Raj Rishis. These Raj Rishis were responsible. Yudhishthira Maharaj had a complete Gurukul of thousands of brahmacharis. And he was concerned that if I am being abandoned and exiled to the forest, what will happen to these? So the responsibility for the Gurukul, the Guru Parampara and the Varnashram was lying on the shoulders of the king, on the Raj Rishi. But then now in the current state, socio-political state that we have, it's not possible. So therefore the Lord sends acharyas to create a system, an institution which can provide opportunities for us to fulfill our quest for the Lord, right? And if we see that, when we understand that actually institution or organization is not, the organization doesn't need us. We need the organization and institution. If we told you there's no breakfast prasadam after the class, then probably the number will reduce. So yes, we need the institution because we need certain facilities, Prabhupada said that I can sit under a tree and speak, but will you come? That's the question. Therefore, I have to create these opulent palaces for you to get attracted and drawn. And, one person in his quest for spirituality, he meditates and he gets the epiphany, he gets the answers. And then he meets his friend and he tells him, and both of them start practicing. Then they have a third common friend. He comes and says, what are both of you doing? They say that, we are practicing this meditation and we are developing attraction for the Lord. So the third one says, okay, so let me also join. So then all of these three people, then they start discussing, okay, when are you free? When are you free? Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. We will all meet together. What is that? Organization, right? So it's actually a family, but then there needs to be some system by which we can come together, right? So that is the whole purpose. And if we have problem with numbers, then actually if there is something good, that should be distributed far and wide to as many people as possible, right? Ramanujacharya, we know that pastime where at Tirukoshtiyur, he was given this mantra for everyone's deliverance, but he was told that you should not, it's a secret mantra, you should not speak to others. He went on the terrace of the temple and he invited everyone. He said, let everyone get liberated. He chanted, Om Namo Bhagavate, Om Namo Narayana, right? And then his guru became very upset with him. I told you that it is supposed to be a secret mantra, now you will go to hell. And Ramanujacharya said that if for everyone's liberation, one person needs to go to hell, what is the big deal? Everyone else gets liberated, so I am happy to go to hell. So that's the mood behind the preaching mission, that the ISKCON's motto is more devotee and happy devotees. So yes, more devotees, but then we are also looking for devotees to be happy in Krishna consciousness. And so we see in various ways, time is short, so I'll just conclude. That these acharyas, they, are sent by the Lord to create facilities, to create support systems for us to, come closer to the Lord, to find answers to our questions, to find good association, to find the right process. So all of these systems are created with the sole purpose of bringing people closer to the Lord. So we summarize. Basically, we discussed that the verse here mentions that the Lord is not satisfied with the worship of grandeur by the devatas because there is tinges of material desires. But actually, he is satisfied with the simple worship of his pure devotees. And so we see here that there are traces of material desires, and then if those come in front in our spiritual practice, then somewhere our practice also is not satisfying to the Lord, and that's why people get disillusioned with religion many times. And then if we want to understand the heart of the Lord, then we will never go wrong. We will never go astray in our practice of bhakti, because the Lord accepts anyone and everyone. There are no barriers, there are no boundaries. Bhakti without borders. So he accepts everyone, and his heart, his essence, his personality is full of love, as we saw in the Bhrigu Muni's pastimes. And ultimately, this institution is our need. It's not Krishna's need. We need this. And when you say that everything in the world is organized, the corporates are organized, the government is organized, everything is organized except religion doesn't make sense. Everything which organization is just a vehicle to bring the goods to you, to bring the substance to you. So when we speak of religion, Prabhupada said that I am going in the airplanes, in the jets, because people are going at jet speed to hell. So to catch up with them, I am traveling in the jets. So therefore, that is the purpose, and when we keep this in mind, the heart of the Lord in mind, we will always stay tuned to the right purpose of simplicity of the heart and sincerity of purpose. So with this, we conclude. Thank you very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.